You want to believe this insane Marvel detail that's been hiding in plain sight for over a decade. Seriously, this changes everything. We all know Tony Stark as the genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist who kicked off the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. But what if I told you the most important part of his character, the very thing that makes him Iron Man, was inspired by a real-life person? And no, I'm not talking about Elon Musk, though that's a common comparison. I'm talking about a figure far more complex and frankly way more interesting. Let's rewind a bit. Back in the early days, when Marvel Studios was just a dream and superhero movies were a huge gamble, the team was figuring out how to make Tony Stark feel real. How do you ground a character who builds a flying suit of armor in a cave? The answer came from an unexpected source, Howard Hughes. Now, if you're not a history buff, you might only know Howard Hughes from that Leonardo DiCaprio movie, The Aviator. And yes, that's a great starting point. Hughes was a legendary figure in the 20th century. He was an aviation pioneer, a Hollywood movie producer, an incredibly wealthy industrialist. Sound familiar? Just like Tony Stark, Hughes inherited his father's business, a tool company, and used that fortune to pursue his wildest passions. He built groundbreaking aircraft, broke speed records, and even owned his own studio. He was a visionary, a maverick who didn't play by anyone else's rules. The parallels are striking. Tony Stark's journey from a weapons manufacturer to a hero mirrors Hughes' own evolution. Hughes pushed the boundaries of technology for aviation, while Tony pushed them for energy and defense. Both were public figures who loved the spotlight, often seen with beautiful women on their arms. They were the rock stars of their respective eras, brilliant and impossibly charismatic. You can see Hughes' swagger in Robert Downey Jr.'s every move as Tony. That confidence, that effortless command of any room he walks into. It's pure Howard Hughes. But here's where it gets really deep, and where the MCU truly nailed the complexity of Tony's character. Howard Hughes' life wasn't all glamour and success. As he got older, he became increasingly reclusive and eccentric. He suffered from severe obsessive-compulsive disorder and chronic pain, which led him to isolate himself from the world. He became a prisoner of his own mind, terrified of germs and contact with the outside world. This tragic decline is the secret ingredient that makes Tony Stark so compelling. Think about Tony's journey after the first Avengers movie. He's haunted by the Battle of New York. He can't sleep. He has panic attacks. This isn't just standard movie hero angst. It's a direct echo of Howard Hughes' struggles with his mental health. Tony's constant need to build, to upgrade, to create more and more suits, the Iron Legion in Iron Man 3. Ultron in Age of Ultron, it's a manifestation of his anxiety. He's trying to build a suit of armor around the world. Just like Hughes tried to create a sterile, controlled environment for himself, this is the genius of the MCU's writing. They didn't just borrow the cool, successful parts of Howard Hughes' life. They also incorporated his vulnerabilities, his paranoia, and his internal struggles. It's what makes Tony Stark more than just a rich guy in a suit. It makes him human. It makes him flawed. We see his immense intellect become a double-edged sword, driving him to incredible feats of heroism, but also to create his own worst enemies, like Ultron. And the connection goes even deeper. In Iron Man 2, we learn that Tony's father, Howard Stark, was a direct contemporary and competitor of Howard Hughes. The MCU literally wrote Hughes' influence into the Stark family history. Howard Stark is shown as a key figure in the early days of S.H.I.E.L.D., involved in a world of espionage and secret projects. Much like Hughes was rumored to have connections with the CIA, the MCU masterfully weaves real-world history and historical figures into its fictional tapestry, creating a world that feels incredibly rich and believable. So why does this all matter? Because it shows the incredible depth and thought that went into creating these characters we love. Tony Stark isn't just a comic book character brought to life. He's a complex psychological portrait, inspired by one of the most fascinating and tragic figures of the 20th century. His entire arc, From the arrogant weapons dealer in the first Iron Man to the man who makes the ultimate sacrifice in Endgame, is a story about overcoming one's own demons. It's about a man who is terrified of the world, but chooses to face it head-on anyway. The next time you rewatch any of the Iron Man or Avengers films, look for it. Look for the Howard Hughes and Tony Stark. You'll see it in his quick wit and his grand inventions, but you'll also see it in his moments of fear, his obsessive tinkering, and his desperate attempts to control an uncontrollable world. It adds this hidden layer of inspiration that elevates Tony from a simple superhero to a modern myth. It's a testament to the brilliant storytelling that has made the MCU a global phenomenon. It's not just about the spectacle. It's about the soul of the characters. And Tony Stark's soul is, in many ways, the soul of Howard Hughes reimagined for a new generation. It's a detail that once you see, you can't unsee. Thanks so much for watching. What other real-life inspirations have you noticed in the MCU? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content that uncovers the hidden secrets of your favorite movies. See you in the next one.